Hello, my name is Kat, and this is Kaylee, who's going to be playing with me today. Um, and I had vertical sleeve gastrectomy on August 8th, 2018. Um, I had a high weight of 370. I had a surgery weight of 320, which I lost, so that means I lost 50 pounds. You got gook in your eyes, honey. Um, I lost 50 pounds mostly following a keto diet prior to my surgery, and I still follow a keto diet now. My weight as of today is 244.8 pounds. So that gives me a weekly loss of 1.2 pounds and a loss post surgery, or sorry, yeah, post-surgery of 75.2 and a complete loss of 125.2. So I am I'm happy with that. I mean, I could be better. But after February's stall, it was funny because I didn't think of it as a stall at the time because it was very up and down. Like it wasn't just not the scale not moving, it was the scale moving all the time. It was gaining and losing and gaining and losing and gaining and losing. Okay. Um, so I'm really glad that March has started moving again. And I suppose if I think of it as a stall, I've had weeks before where I haven't lost and weeks before where I think 2 weeks where I gained. Um, Maybe only one that's not part of the February stall. But I, like 1 week is not a stall. So I haven't really had a big stall. This was my first big stall where I didn't move. And you know what? I'm moving again. I'm going to try to keep it going. I think one of my major things is extras. Um, I do still snack. I'm trying to be better about that than I was because usually my meals um, are kind of carnivore keto. I have meat like steak or ground beef or shredded beef. I have a lot of beef. I do have chicken sometimes, and yeah, I think it's been mainly beef. I mean, I'm thinking, have I had pork? I must have had pork. Well, I have bacon, not all the time, but like that's my meal. But then what do I snack on? I have some pepperoni jerky. A I actually have a buffalo chicken jerky that I really kind of like. I don't eat it very often. I only sort of eat it when I'm hungry between meals, and then I'll have it, And I have pecans. I like the pecans. I love pork rinds, and then I have my treat, which is Evolved Eating's peanut butter. No, not peanut butter. Coconut cups, which kind of look like a Reese's cup. They're not that sweet, but they are sweet enough to give me that taste. Oh, and I recently allowed myself a treat after seeing somebody else get it, which is really dangerous, but I'm being very careful with it. Russell Stover, I usually avoid their stuff because they do not use the best ingredients, but they had a saltwater taffy. I I love jelly beans. I love saltwater taffy. I won't have either very often, but I do enjoy it thoroughly when I have it. So the sugar-free saltwater taffy from Russell Stover, coming from someone who has not had sugar in a year, tastes exactly like the normal ones. It has like 3 flavors. I think it's just vanilla, chocolate, strawberry, and cinnamon, and oh, they're very, very good. But with the Russell Stover and with any of the sugar-free stuff, you really, really have to respect the serving size because they can cause some serious intestinal distress if you take too much. You're coming back? You coming back? Hi? Okay. She'll probably jump over into my lap, but I'm not going to force her. But yeah, I try to really, oh, we're just in a wrestling mood. But I really try to respect that, because I have only overindulged once, and it's not like, oh, people are like, oh, have this sugary sweets, they'll make you go to the bathroom. And if you're constipated, you might be like, well, I want to go to the bathroom. You don't want to go to the bathroom that way. They cause a lot of, for me, and everybody's different, they cause a lot of gas that is just difficult to move through the system. And yeah, they'll make you go, but it's not going to be a pleasant situation. I think you're probably better using the Miralax or the, I still use Smooth Move Tea, even though my program does not. It's funny, my surgeon had no problem with Smooth Move Tea. My case manager does not like it. So that's that. But I honestly, taking the probiotic that I started taking because they recommended it, I've been taking it pretty much my whole time. I rarely have more than mild constipation, and I don't have it all that often. So I'm happy with that. I'm usually pretty regular, and you know, knock on wood, and I'm happy with that. But I have been, you know, really trying to dial back the extras and dial up the meals with dense protein. So yeah, a lot of the beef, and as close to steak as I can. I don't want to burn out on anything, but I find that the pitter patter of little feet. But I find that it's works well in my weight loss. So I'm going to keep that up as much as I can. I went shopping this weekend with my husband. I've got to stop shopping. You know, it's funny because there's so many things that you read about or you hear on the vlogs, pre-surgery. Like I told my husband, you know, as soon as I get back from the surgery in the first, you know, couple weeks, I'm probably going to go through a depression, and I'm going to be really upset that I did it and have a lot of buyer's remorse. And I didn't have any of that. I had a really surprisingly easy recovery, and I didn't go through the depression, and I didn't go through the, you know, why the hell did I do this to myself, and I can't even drink water. Yeah, that didn't happen to me. So, but I was prepared because everybody said, oh, that's what happened. That's, you know, that happened to them. So I was sure it was going to happen to me. And so I was ready for it, and then it didn't happen. And, you know, as I also transfer addictions, I really started to wonder, it's like, am I a food addict? Because I would think about food all the time. I would plan meals. I would think about when I was going to be able to eat this, or when I was going to be able to eat that. And I mean, I still have to plan my meals, and I still have that to a degree, but it's not bad food anymore. But I'm like, I was prepared for transfer addiction, and I'm not you know, like, have I had alcohol since my surgery? Yes. Have I had a lot? No. I've had usually like a half a glass, a couple sips. And it's mainly just to fit in a social, like a social situation where I would have had booze before. Then I, you know, just have a drink and don't have, you know, not have it refilled, or I have a friend who sneakily refills things, and if he does, I just pass my drink on to my husband, who is the person who knows, and he takes care of it for me. But you know, it's the same way I do with food. Like if I have food on my plate that I know I'm not going to be able to eat, or it's not the kind of situation where I would take it home, I just pass it to my husband. And it's funny because he started getting smaller burgers knowing he's going to have, you know, at least a quarter of mine, usually about a third to a half, depending on the size of the burger. Um, so we went to a outlet mall, and I'm really sort of cautious of shopping addiction now because I'm like, oh, do I really need this? And I'm trying to be better, but we went into a Wilson's Leather outlet, and I wasn't even going to go in. I said to my husband, "Do you want to go in?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, don't you?" And I'm like, "Well, not really." He goes, "Well, I don't need to go in." And he's like, "But we should probably look." So we looked, and I looked in the clearance section, and I'm planning a costume for Halloween, and I was going to have to find a leather jacket or a fake leather jacket that was very distressed for this Halloween costume. And I they had one in the clearance section. They had pretty much the perfect jacket. I mean, it's not exact, but it's very, very close. And it was, you know, I think it was originally a $300 jacket, and it was marked down to like 125, and then there was some other off of it. Or no, I think it was marked down to 150. I wasn't quite clear on what the actual discount was, so I found that, and I'm like, well, that's perfect for this costume. But I found another jacket that I absolutely love, and both of these ended up being larges, which do not quite fit me yet. But and I had a while ago I'd promised myself, do not buy clothes that do not fit you. But screw that now because I'm actually losing weight, and I'm sure I will fit into a large. And honestly, if it weren't for my bat wings, they would fit. They're just a little tight in the upper arm. So I'm looking forward to, and what's funny is I have a compression garment, and if I put the compression garment on, I can put the jackets on, no problem. So we're close. We're close to being able to wear them comfortably. So I tried on the other jacket, and it's this brown leather jacket with quilting, and it's so unique and cool. And I'm like, oh, I really want this jacket. But it was marked like at 250, and I'm like, I'm not gonna pay 250. So we took it up to the counter. My husband's just like, I'll get it cheap for you for your birthday. And I'm like, oh, that seems silly. But we went up to the counter and had the prices checked. And the leather jacket that I liked for the costume was like $80, and the other one was 125. So I'm like, yeah, we're gonna get these. So I have two new leather jackets, but I swear I'm not a shopping addict. I may have a problem. I'm trying not to have a problem. Um, but you know, I'm trying to be really thought out at what I purchase now, because I have a lot of clothes to grow into. And even before that, I was going through, and I think this happened after I recorded the last thing. I think this was Friday. I went through some bins of old, like I thought I should try on some of the jeans that I got. And I'm like, I'm not quite in these yet, but I should put them aside. And I apparently dug down deeper than I had dug before, because I found 4 pairs of jeans that were totally my size now. Actually, one of them was my size before, so that one went away. But the other 2 were like, or other 3 are long. They're terribly long, so I'm learning to hem jeans this weekend. But you know, I'm doing that, and I'm happy about that. You know, I wore them even long, and they're just absurdly long. I've learned that I am a short. You know, short fits. I'm actually between a short and a regular. I think some of these might be tall because they're freaking long. So I'm going to be cutting about 4 inches off some of these jeans and hemming them. But I'm also excited because I'm taking Friday off, and my husband and I are going to a steampunk convention, which I may have talked about last time. But yeah, I'm going to wear a costume, um, which is the first time in a long time. I'm wearing a costume to an event, and I'm excited and a little scared. Um, but we'll see. Um, I don't know if you noticed, but I got my hair cut. I'm going to start the process, I think, of changing back to blondes. And hi. And this is weird. I've been a redhead for 20 years. I was a blonde. I grew up a blonde, and in college I started dyeing my hair. First, accidentally, I did some Ronald McDonald red temp dye that just did not come out. It mellowed, but it did not come out. So I as I've been losing weight, I've been becoming more and more obsessed isn't the right word, but more and more feeling like I should be a blonde again. So found out that taking red out of your hair is the hardest thing to do of all the colors. Did not know that. So we'll see next time you see me. I should have some highlights. We're going to try blending in some highlights and see if we can step towards blonde. So who knows? It'll be interesting. Um, yeah, yeah, good kitten. I think she's run out her bit, and I've kind of run out mine. So, you want to take a nap? Um, thank you for listening. I hope you have a great week, and I actually have to I have to leave to go to support group. So, I'm still trying to do that. It's funny because I always feel like I don't get much out of it, but I realize it's the only time I'm surrounded by people who know and have a similar experience to me because because I've been so quiet and not told anybody about my surgery. You know, I say not tell anyone about my surgery while I'm talking to you about my surgery. But you know, so this is my outlet for expressing myself, and you know, it's nice to hear about other people's experience. I see that online, but it's nice to have it in person and talk to people. And yeah, so I'm gonna go to if I can tear myself away from this adorable kitten. Um, I'm gonna go to support group, and I hope you have a great week. And I'll see you next week with some blind highlights, maybe. We'll see. Bye.